Hi, Aries. Welcome back. All right, guys. Listen, I have good news and bad news. So let's go ahead and get into it. Aries, the good news is I'm hearing that you are going to be placed in a position where you have been working so hard for. Okay, you've been working so hard for this. You've been putting in the time, the hours, thinking hard. I mean, just doing everything you can to get to the position that you're going to be in. And you're going to make it. You're getting there. And I see you. Now, here's the bad part. The bad part is you're going to go in there and you're going to feel like you're not as capable as other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, right? You're going to walk in there because you're going to feel like you don't have the experience for it, or maybe you feel like, you just don't know what you're doing. You're going to feel uncomfortable because the people that you're going to be rubbing shoulders with are going to be people who, they have years and years and years and years of experience, right? You might start self sabotaging yourself, okay? Now, for one of you, this could be a past reading, okay? For some of you, I feel like this is a future reading, or it could be something you're going through right now. Remember that there's no timestamp in tarot, right? So, future, past, present, it's all the same thing in tarot. Specifically, the person that I'm trying to talk to is the person who is about to level up, the person that is about to start rubbing shoulders with other people who have way more experience. Okay, I'm hearing like you're pretty new. You don't exactly know exactly what you're doing because you haven't actually done it, right? But you know you have the talents, you have the skills to do it, and you have the drive to do it. The thing is that when you start self sabotaging yourself and talking yourself out of something, feeling like you don't belong there or feeling like you just don't have what it takes, don't self sabotage yourself. That is the worstest thing that you can do. You wouldn't be there if God didn't want you to be there. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Keep that in your head, like if God didn't want you to be there, he wouldn't have put you there. So obviously you're put in that position for a reason. There's a reason why God is putting you there. And yes, you do have what it takes. Yes, maybe the other people might have more experience, but hey, that doesn't mean that you can't learn. That doesn't mean that you can't, acquire extra skills. Maybe work, study off your time off. You know what I mean? Away from those people, right? It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a learning process. It's going to be a learning process. It just seems like you're going to feel very intimidated. Anytime you're trying something new, anytime you're doing something new, it's always going to be intimidating, right? I think we all go through this, and spirit really wants you to just give it your all. Okay? Like put your foot on the pedal. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. Put your foot on the pedal and keep going. Don't stop. Don't second guess yourself. Don't give yourself time to think. Let's just put it that way. Don't give yourself time to think because you're there for a reason. Something wonderful is coming for you, okay? That position is going to lead you to other positions, different different things. So if this is like you starting your own company, right? This is going to lead you to other things. It's given me, so if this is starting your own business, right? This is giving me brother sister companies. Okay? Like you're going to have brother sister companies. That kind of thing. If this is you working for somebody and you are, you're getting the job, then this is going to be something that's going to end up helping you become self employed. Okay, like the things that you're going to learn at this position, I'm hearing that it's going to help you to start your own business. So where you're going to be like the person who's on top of everything. Okay, now that's one thing I just want to get out there. Also, there's something here about you needing to rebuild something here. It looks like it has something to do with coins. Okay. Something about you needing to save money. Okay. Spirit is saying, like, you need to save money. You need to put things aside. What I'm hearing is that the things that you need. Okay. So start with the things. Okay, I'm hearing that spirit wants you to get everything that you need. So start with the things that you use on a daily basis. Toilet paper is coming to mind. But accumulate enough stuff to get you through. So that's what I'm hearing. So it makes me wonder, like, what's going on. But yeah, to get you through, start with the things that you use on a daily basis. Reynolds wrap, foil. Have a little extra, okay? Because yes, you're going to be put in a position here where you're going to feel a certain kind of way, but there is going to be a point where that job or that company is not going to be around. So if you're self-employed, this is like you learning from somebody else how to do something. Well, or you're learning the ways of something. So if that's the case, then that company or that person who you're learning from is not going to be there at some point. It means like their company's going to close down, or they're going to close, or they're going to retire, something like that. Okay, so that's why spirit wants you to have, backup, have things ready for yourself. Make sure that you have, couple of months of electricity if you can. Take this position that you're going to be put in, okay, and save the money from that, okay, because you're going to start something new on your own, but of course it's going to take money, okay. But I see you like taking somebody else's position. So for instance, somebody's pulling you in and then they're going to retire, and then you're taking over that company, okay. Something like that is happening here. But there's going to be a transition period, okay? And that's not going to be for everybody where you're just going to take over somebody else's company, okay? That's not for everybody. That's just for one or two of you specifically. Now, the rest of you, there's going to be a period there where you're not going to be working, okay? This is why spirit wants you to build something for yourself, like a little nest egg, okay? And part of that is like, having the things that you need, not just money, but having the things that you need that can get you through a month or two without a job, right, or without income coming in. So it makes me feel like I think money is part of it, yes, but it's more of you being able to sustain yourself for a couple of months, okay. So, and from what I can tell, it could be because of a person retiring. That's what I'm getting. So, retiring or getting sick. Maybe you are going to get sick. Okay. That could be the case too. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be that person or that other company is going to get sick or something, but this could be you getting sick and needing to be able to stay okay for a while. Okay, now with that being said, I'm also seeing you struggle with keeping yourself inspired. I think we get into a grind of something and we get so far, and then we tend to lose our inspiration to keep going. Okay, so guys, if you have any tips of how to keep yourself inspired, please put that in the comments, okay? I'm just going to give my own advice, but of course, I want to hear everybody's advice, and I'm sure other people who are going to this might want to hear your advice as well. For me, I use visual things, like I might put a picture on the wall of something I want. Like I want a truck, right? I really need a truck, right? So I'll have a picture of a truck on my wall so I remember every day why I keep pushing myself and going to work and coming back and cleaning the house, and why do I keep doing all this, right? It keeps me motivated to keep going, okay? That works for me because I'm a visual person. But then I also like to write lists down of my goals. Okay. And of course, the more detail that you put in there, the better off you're going to be. So, putting that down on paper and then trying to make like push yourself, like, okay, yes, now I got direction again. I'm back on track. It gives you that kind of energy, like, okay, yes, that's right. I'm going to do this. Another thing to do to keep yourself inspired is, recognizing your blessings. This is another thing that I've done and it works. Recognizing your blessings, being thankful for your blessings, and then it makes you feel like, okay, I got something that I need to protect. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I've come this far, I've accomplished this much. I need to protect this by keep going, by keep pushing myself to keep going, right? This is what I do. It works for me. I hope if you try it, I hope it works for you. Okay, guys, if you have any suggestions of how to keep yourself inspired, I think it's when we have other people expecting things from us, it's easier for us to keep going. But when we don't have that, we don't have somebody else around us like depending on us to keep going, it tends to make us not as motivated to keep going. Does that make any sense? For some reason, when we have somebody else depending on us and we have somebody else's, relying on us, for us to come home with the bacon, with the money, or to supply things for them, I don't know. It just makes us push ourselves harder. We don't even think about it. We just do it and go. You might be a single person, okay? You might be maybe you live alone or something, okay? But or maybe you're married but your spouse works and you really don't need to do this. Like you don't really have to do it. It's just really something that you wanted to do. Something like that, right? Um in that kind of situation, it's kind of hard to keep ourselves inspired to keep moving on. We need to remind ourselves of why we wanted to go on this journey, why we wanted to go down this path in life, and where we wanted to go and where we wanted things to end up, right? It can be challenging sometimes. In inspiring ourselves and getting ourselves motivated to go seems to be the hardest thing to do. Especially when you get depressed, or or you start feeling overwhelmed, or you feel like, what are you doing, like, like I had said earlier, like, why am I here? I have no experience. What am I doing? You start talking to yourself like that. We got to keep pushing forward. Okay. Anyways, guys, this is your reading. This is what's going on. I just go straight into the readings now, and I just go ahead and go straight for the meat of the reading. And that's what I'm doing nowadays. This way we can get to the point quicker. That's not even a word, but more quicker, right? Get to the point of the reading. So if you have any suggestions of how to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself, going, let me know in the comments. We would love to hear it. Also, guys, I'm wondering how many people here are Americans, Europeans, Canadians, um, that have moved to another country. I know somebody had mentioned that they had moved to Vietnam, and where are you from and where are you living at now? Where are you watching me from? If you haven't, traveled and moved to another country, I'm just curious, where are you watching me from? Okay, if you're still in your own country, I'm just curious where people are watching me from. Anyways, Spirit, give us two angel numbers here. All right. It says, you are a self starter with very innovative ways of creating opportunity. Your determination and endurance are powerful and will help you get through rough times and reach success. I am innovative. So put that in the comment section. I am innovative. Give us one more here. One more. Ooh. Okay, I dropped it. Let's see what it is. It's right here. It landed on my shoe. Okay, number 6. It says your heart is your gift. Okay. You are a natural born nurturer and have a great talent for helping and healing others. You are the epitome of self sacrifice and a protector of those you love. I am nurturing. I don't know what this has to do with this reading. I don't know. It came out, so that I'm going to leave it. Okay. Maybe that's why it fell on the floor. I don't know. Anyways, guys, catch me in the next one. I do hope this helps you hearing what's going on. But you are about to elevate. You're about to be put into positions where you're not going to feel comfortable. But I want you to know when you are out of your comfort zone and things are challenging, that's how you grow. So, I mean, it's in everything in life. That's how you grow as a person, in your career, in your ability to do things. I mean, that's just the way it is. So just remember to remind yourself of that when you get in that position where you're standing there and you're looking at all these people and they all seem to know what they're doing and you're the new person and you have no idea what to do. Just remember this is growing pains. That's what you're going to be going through. So you can have a name for it. It's growing pains. And as soon as you start trying to self-sabotage yourself by talking negatively or questioning yourself, just remind yourself that you are there for a reason. All right, guys? Catch me in the next one, y'all. Take care. Bye bye.